Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the National Real Estate Post. I'm your host today, Frank Gray, and I'm here with a very good friend of mine, Steve Kiles. How are you, Steve?
And I am great, brother. I'm thrilled to be here with you, man.
You know, I just want to just grab some of your energy and just stick it in me sometimes, man. So you're always just so, at 10, you know what I mean? Which is a good thing. Anyway, Steve is the creator and the host of the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast. I'm going to put that link down below for everybody. So there's a link down below, free, of course. And Steve does a lot of coaching. Is primarily what he does: interviews, tips, coaching, just all kinds of great stuff that he does on this podcast. And I want to have a little fun. I'm gonna try to stump Steve. I'm gonna try to stump Steve right now, everybody. So here we go. So you're the loan officer, I'm the customer. Okay.
All right.
And I'm gonna say, hey, Steve, yeah, it's great, but I'm gonna shop around for a little bit first.
Hey, fantastic, Frank. Let me ask you this: what are you shopping for?
Well, the lowest rate, obviously. That's what I'm gonna shop for.
Hey, and Frank, what you told me was your goal was to only keep the house for 3 to 5 years. And what we realize is the lowest rate always comes with the highest cost. Are you open to my professional opinion?
Sure.
Are you open to me showing you a way to reduce or save you more money over the life of your current loan versus the lowest rate? Because what we find is that when you're going after the lowest rate, your break even is usually 8 to 12 years out. Are you open to my advice? And literally, Frank, I'd just walk them into showing them how it doesn't help them.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, and guys, just full disclosure, I kind of knew where Steve was going to go with that because I saw him do this just like off the cuff with somebody else at a coaching event that we were at. I was like, man, that guy's good, And but what I wanted to get on the show today was, you've got so much great stuff that loan officers can instantly apply to their business, like right now, like even that, hey, I'm going to shop around. What are you shopping for? The lowest rate. Well, do you know how interest rates work? Well, what do you mean? Well, usually the lowest rate comes at the highest cost. Are you aware of that? No, I'm not aware of that. That's such a great way to just, handle a situation like that. And I heard through the grapevine that you have a great tip for us getting commitment from people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So run that past us real quick.
I will. Hey, and Frank, the reason why you want to ask somebody, hey, the reason why you're responding that way, hey, are you aware of how rates work, is because you're really showing them that you're the expert in this space. Because what clients, all they hear is rate, but they don't understand goals. So when we flip the script and help people build a clear mortgage plan that benefits them and helps them with their goals, people begin to perk up and say, hey, Frank, I thought it was just rate. But now what I'm realizing is a mortgage is a tool and not a commodity. And anytime we can get out of the commoditize or the commodity game instead of rate and fees, then we become an expert. And guys in our industry and girls in our industry, we're the professional. And so that's why we do what's called a loan consultation. In this 30-minute loan consultation, we're going to walk through building a clear mortgage plan, which walks you through your goals: sales price, monthly payment, cash to close, rate range, and answer any questions you're going to have in this conversation. Hey, Frank, does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Excellent, man. Well, listen, when we go through and we're going to answer all these questions, I'm going to ask that you tell your realtor, Sue, that I'm taking great care of you, okay?
Sure.
And literally, I just go into the consultation, but here's the key, Frank. Most loan officers assume the close instead of gaining commitment. How many times have we got to the end of a loan consultation? Man, I felt like that was great. They were vibing with me. I answered all their questions. And then 2 weeks later, when they go under contract, Frank, you know what they do? They say, hey, Frank, I know you don't mind if I shop interest rates. You would want me to get the best rate, right? And you're like, if I say no, I'm a jerk. If I say yes, I'm giving them permission to shop. And now again, I'm commoditized. It's a commodity.
Right.
So you have to ask at the very end of every loan consultation, hey, Frank, we went through sales price, monthly payment, cash to close, answered all your questions. Hey, Frank, let me ask you this. Is there anything that would prevent me from being your lender? Is there anything that would prevent me from being your lender? And your response would be?
Whatever it would be, obviously, so I would say, a lot of times you probably get people say, no, man, I don't see there be anything that would prevent you from being my lender. You're very thorough.
Yeah. Hey, and
Right.
Frank, man, I got to tell you, I'm so thrilled. You got to know this. My team and I are passionate about helping you get in your home. And just so you know, we work in good faith, which means nobody on my team gets compensated unless we go all the way through to closing. So in good faith, we're going to help you have the competitive advantage in today's environment. So man, we're thrilled to be working with you. And here's what we'll do. And you walk them through your next step. Hey, when you find a home, call me, we'll update numbers. We go under contract, we'll update based on rate options that day. We'll lock it in and go to close, right? Now, if you come back and you say, hey, Steve, no, I'm going to shop you. Here's what's freeing. Hey, Frank, is there anything that would prevent me from being your lender?
I don't know, man. I think I'm still shop around.
Cool. Hey, listen, I completely understand. First off, what are you shopping for? And then I would go down that dialogue. And here's what you're going to say, Frank. Hey, I'm going to still shop even the day we get a contract. Tell me that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to shop up until the time we get a contract.
Hey, listen, Frank, I completely understand. And listen, here's what's going to happen. Most people don't realize this, but my team and I work in good faith on your behalf, and we're not compensated unless we go all the way through to closing, which keeps us fully invested in your success. And I'm confident we're going to give you the competitive advantage in today's environment. But here's what you need to know, Frank. If you're choosing to not commit to working with me, then the full resource of my office stops today, because we can't deploy our resources until you commit to working with us. So here's what I would say. Talk to the other lenders you're going to talk to. And then once you know what they're going to offer, send it to me. Send the best offer they get, send it to me. And if I can meet or beat it, I'd love to work with you. If not, I completely understand.
That feels pretty good.
That feels really good. Hey, because what happens, Frank? Guys,
well, you know what that does too, Steve? I tell you. So let's say you go through that process, and let's say they still shop around, and let's say they send some deal over there that you don't want to mess around with trying to beat it. Well, then you just got rid of a headache. You got rid of something that, you're not going to have to deal with this. You know what I mean? You just let this guy go. I mean, there's a lot more behind him,
What happens is you send the pre-approval on a day off like yesterday. You send the pre-approval at 9 p.m. at night. You call the listing agent to help them win a deal, and with no commitment, you can get bidder instead of better.
Yeah.
And these scripts are intended, that one question, is there anything that would prevent me from being your lender, allows you not to assume the close, but to gain commitment. And then if they say, no, I'm going to still rate shop you, totally cool. But the full resource of my office stops today, because now I get to choose who I'm working with, and I'm not going to work with somebody who's going to shop me for $100 in an
Right.
So if you want the competitive advantage of my office and the full resource, then you need to commit. Frank, we went from 64% closing ratio the day the contract came in to 94.4%.
I was just going to ask you if you had some stats on this and how it improved.
Yeah, it went from 64%. Like I'd get a contract in, if I got 10, 6.5 of them would still stay with me. Now, because of using that script, 94% stay with us. We lose very few. It's usually 1 in every 20 we'll lose to rate and fees. But it's because you're asking for commitment. Hey, also on the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast, it's episode 93 and 103. There's 2 bonus episodes where we go into this in a lot more detail. So hopefully that'll be a great resource for your audience, man. I love being with you.
93 and 103. Those are the episodes.
That's it.
So guys, what I'm going to do is, instead of, giving you scripts or anything like that down below or what have you, just again, I'm just going to link you to the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast right down below. You can go there. You can see all the episodes that are there. You can find 93 and 103. If this in particular is standing out to you, but you can also tune into everything else that Steve has going on there. But I really wanted to introduce you guys to Steve. I met Steve, gosh, it's only been a few months that we've actually got to know each other personally. And God, you just bring so much to the table for originators. You're just so quick. It's like I'm trying to stump Steve. Like I can't do it. I can't stump Steve.
Let's try.
I can't, I just can't. So, you guys can try and stump them on your own. I'll let them try and stump you, man. But so they can engage with you from the podcast in other ways, right? Can they email you or get all
the best ways to podcast? And there's some other resources. But man, hey, I got to tell you, I just love you, brother. I know we've only personally known each other for a few months, which seems like years.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
I've been a great fan of this show, man. Watching you 14 years or so, man.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. So thank you for having me on. Your audience is amazing, and I love what you guys are doing for the industry.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Really appreciate that. Thanks for being on the show. And he pointed something out. Yeah, 14 years. July 2nd was our 14th year of doing. I started it myself on July 2nd, 2007. And then was with my brother in the beginning. Then Brian came on shortly thereafter. Then it took off, and there you go. Yeah, jaw harp. Remember playing the jaw harp and all that kind of. So anyway, man, hey, really appreciate it, guys. Tune into his podcast. Tune into Steve's podcast, Loan Officer Leadership Podcast. The link is down below. You'll be glad you did. So much great stuff there. As you can see, you know, this is a little dose of what you're going to get over there, and you're going to just glean a lot of great tips, a lot of things you can implement right away into your business that are going to be really, really successful. You can go ahead and try to stump Steve on your own. Okay. You guys have a great one, man. Thank you, Steve. Guys, leave us your comments down below. Forward, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you later here at the Natural Real Estate Post.